Let's talk about chapter 261 and the return of Gojo Satoru. This chapter starts right where we left, with Yuji clawing Sukuna's chest, and through the smoke, Yuta Satoru. We return a month previously, where the group is discussing their final option, and that is to let Yuta copy Kenjaku's curse technique to inhabit Gojo's body. Kusakabe asks why not just copy the 6 eyes. Shoko confirms that the 6 eyes are a physical trait and not a technique. This is clarification for all the people who think the 6 eyes is a technique, and she just deads it right there. Yuta's technique only allows him to copy for 5 minutes with Rika fully manifested, and Maki asks what will happen if those 5 minutes are up. Yuta says he doesn't know. Possibility 1 is that Kenjaku's ability requires constant activation, which means after the 5 minutes he will die. 2, Kenjaku's ability is activated intermittently and he won't die immediately, but it'll be a matter of time. Possibility 3 is that Kenjaku's technique only needs 1 activation, but if that's the case, Yuta will live on inside of Gojo's body forever. Then Yuta finally has his main character moment and asks, is Gojo not important? We've always pushed the burden of being a monster onto him alone. If he dies and no one else will take that spot, then I will. This is not the same gloomy Yuta that we've once seen before. This Yuta is ready to stand on business. Yuta then tells Gojo that he's going to use his body once he passes. Gojo, being arrogant, says he's not going to lose, so he doesn't really care. Then Yuta and Gojo have a conversation about him being a Fujiwara, as that is what Uro told her when he was fighting her. But in volume 0, Gojo said that he was a descendant of the Sugawara, and here we get some lore that Yuta might actually be descendant of both Fujiwara and Sugawara, which would make Yuta even more of a powerhouse. Gojo then gives the possibility of Yuta being more blessed than him, but tells him he needs to get better control of his cursed energy. If Yuta had better cursed energy control, he probably could be able to hold manifested Rika for more than 5 minutes. It's interesting to see that such a powerhouse like him has sloppy cursed energy control. Well, he did bottom out pretty quickly fighting Uro and Ryu in Sendai. Gojo wants his students to leave, but they refuse, as he doesn't want his students to see something so gruesome, especially given the fact that it's not even sure if it's the right thing to do. And I think this is pretty cool that Gojo still has his humanity and is not gonna kill the innocent higher-ups. Well, technically they're not innocent, but it just shows the battle that he's having with being a monster and maintaining his humanity. And Yuta asks Gojo to not bear the burden of being a monster alone anymore. And I still don't know what this panel means here. Gojo thinks back to his last words to Geto. In his head, he's thinking, there's nothing more that could be done about that. Back then, I was left in the dust. I have to catch up. If you guys have any theories on what this means, please put it down in the comment section below, because I've been thinking and I really can't get the gist of what this is supposed to mean right here, especially with the conversations about humanity that Yuta just had with everybody. This was also mentioned in what Hikari said to Arame when they first started fighting. If y'all don't remember this dude right here, he was the lackey for the helicopter people at the beginning of the Culling games. He amplifies sugar in his body and he can manifest it. And here he makes a flan and Yuji eats it, and I think flan is pretty funny because that's a Hispanic dish and we're in Japan. Shoko wants him on the medical team for sugar to other people, and he's all excited at first. The next panel shows he's absolutely disgusted. Murata Nita's curse technique is painkiller, which stops wounds from worsening, but he can't heal. And we get confirmation that Yuta was actually cut in half by the world-cutting dismantle. And we see Yuta stayed alive here through Rika. I guess she's feeding him cursed energy and allowing his consciousness to stay. Shoko tells Yuta that once he uses Kenjaku's curse technique, he has to go full throttle on the RCT to heal Gojo. And we see the last couple pages are Sukuna and Gojo, Sukuna and Yuto doing domain expansion. The narrator then asks, how does one counter Ryomen Sukuna's open barrier domain? By Gojo Satoru's hands, the solution is revealed yet again. The last 2 pages are a limited void and malevolent shrine clashing once again. Unfortunately, we do have a break next week. At first, when this chapter came out, I didn't know how to feel about Yuta coming back in Gojo's body. When Gojo was alive, he was only used as a weapon of Jujutsu. In a chapter extra, they asked everybody who was Satoru Gojo, and everybody gave the same answer as the strongest, separating him from his personal being. Gojo lost his title of the strongest after being defeated by Sukuna, and this allowed him to just be Satoru Gojo. But here, for Yuta to use his body again as a weapon of Jujutsu and just using Gojo as the easy button, I honestly don't know how to feel about it. But Gege did a good job of introducing it, so it doesn't seem seem like some kind of ass pull. Also, how do you think this domain clash is gonna go? The last battle of domains, Sukuna won 5-3, and this is while not attacking the barrier from the inside when it was easier, and also having Mahoraga adapt. This is some nice characterization from Yuta here, not just being the gloomy kid and having leadership. This is a totally different Yuta from Volume 0, and I'm excited to see what he does, especially being a descendant of the Fujiwara and the Sugawara. Also, where is Urame? Why is she still fighting Hikari? It's been like 25 chapters. That has been the 261 chapter review. Unfortunately, we are on a break next week. Come up with some theories in the comment section below on how this domain clash is going to be. I would love to hear what you guys think. It has been Otaku Talks, and I'm out.